everyone, in this video I have the process of the fifth and final project I have done with the March Thompson's Craft Supplies Mixed Media Kit, the Nautical Adventure Kit, and as you have probably seen by the title, this is an art journal spread, and I thought I would just start off by showing you how I actually prep my pages in my art journal, because I don't use an inverted commas proper art journal, you know, like a Dilutions or a Dina Wakley or whatever. I just use a average standard plain paper notebook. I do have to prep my pages, and I was just thought, yeah, I'll show you how I do that, just in case it's something that you wanted to do and didn't know what exactly to do. So what I do is I actually stick 2 or 3 pages together to make one page kind of thing, so they're really nice and sturdy pages, and then I will put a strip of wide washi up the middle there. You saw me put that down there. It doesn't matter what colour it is or whatever, anything, because it's going to get covered up. But the reason I put that down is to help stop any sort of seepage of the ink. You know, sometimes it can seep through that middle part there and go onto other pages. Some people like that look, but I personally don't. And sometimes the gesso, even though it's supposed to be a non-porous surface, sometimes those cheeky little inks make their way through. So that strip of washi helps. And then, as you saw, I put heavy gesso on it as well. I find the heavy gesso works better, especially when you've stuck pages together like I have, because as it starts to get wet they sort of tend to warp and bubble and stuff, but then the heavy gesso, once it's dry, like flattens that back down again. You can't tell the pages have been stuck together, and that's it really. So it's really simple but effective, I find. So for this particular spread, obviously it's a nautical theme one. I'll talk about the title and stuff a bit later on, but this is very much sort of an underwatery kind of spread, and you just saw me there. I'm going over with some of the Distress Stain in Tumbled Glass, and then that darker colour there is the Chip Sapphire. Now, unfortunately, they do not make the Distress Stain anymore, not in that format anyway, the little dabber things. You can get it in spray and stuff, but they don't make the little dabbers anymore, which is very sad. And then around the middle I wanted to add some acrylic paint, so I just started off with that cheap blue one from Hobbycraft, but as I put it on I was like, actually I'm not over keen on that colour, it's a little too baby blue. So I just added a little bit of white and a little bit of a darker blue, which I cannot remember the colour of, but yes, there it is. And as you saw, I just mixed it directly on the page rather than doing it in a palette or anything, because you know you might as well. And I started off with a brush, and then I didn't like that effect, so I just got a wide palette knife and I'm just dragging the paint over both sides, sort of gathering up the paint where it's, you know, it's grouped in the middle there, because you know gravity. So just sort of scooping it up from there and dragging it across the page like so. Not the whole way across, I didn't want the whole thing to be that sort of rich blue colour, but yes, there's that. Now, underneath my pages when I'm doing art journaling, particularly if I'm doing any stamping or stenciling, I put like heavy boards underneath each page. Those are just the backs of an A4 notebook that I bought from Wilko. I bought it actually for the papers inside, and I just uncoil it because I use those papers for like pen paling and stuff. And then I just have these boards, but they're really helpful. If you put them behind your page, it really helps make it sturdy. And I'm going to sneeze, so I'm just going to pause the voiceover. Right, there we go. Sorry, I've been really sneezy lately. I don't know if it's like this invisible spring that might possibly turn up soon and it's hay fever. I don't know, but very, very sneezy. But yes, I put those heavy boards there just because it helps it makes it quite sturdy kind of thing. And then I'm using this Kaisercraft sort of background stamp with the script writing on there, and I'm just putting that quite lightly on my surface with some StazOn ink. Now, often when you see people art journaling, they won't use their acrylic stamping block, they'll just do it with their hands. I wanted the image to be a little bit clearer, so that's why I chose to use the stamping block on this occasion, just in case you're wondering. And then I am adding a little bit more of that Distress Stain, and then a little bit, just a teensy-weensy bit of some of the Lindy's Magical Shakers in, the colour is Afternoon Delight Denim, and then I also add a little bit of Time Travel Teal as well, I believe. As you can see, there's some Dilutions as well in After Midnight, I think the colour is. But yeah, as you can see, I'm mixing some water in, and I am lifting some of the colour back up again. I didn't want it to be too heavy on the dark blue, just little hints of it and stuff. So yes, there's only little bits going on there. There's the Time Travel Teal going on there. Very, very pretty. That was just to add a little bit more of depth when it comes to colour and whatnot. But yes, there we go. So those are all getting soaked up there. And sometimes you can just see I'm just blowing there to move them about a bit. And then just a little bit of Highly Swap in the colour Ocean, because it's a lovely light blue, but obviously there's a little bit of shimmeriness to it, because I did want this quite shimmery, and it does get a little bit more shimmery later on, but you will see. So I made a bit of an error on this one. I made a couple of errors on this actually, but like I'm not bothered by them. So I wanted to do some stenciling, and I wanted it to be sort of a light stenciling. I didn't want to use modelling paste basically, so I was going to use some 3D gloss gel, medium, mix in some more of the dilutions that I'd used before to do my stenciling to kind of make some bubbles. The error I made, however, you can see around my art journal there's lots of stuff going on. I'd actually just finished a project before this. I think it was the wood palette that I did last week, actually. So I just finished that project and went straight onto this one. That's why there's stuff everywhere. But I had put the wrong lid on the wrong gel, and this is actually the matte gel medium. And I didn't realise until when it was dry, I went, this isn't quite right. That's also, by the way, usually when you see me mix things, I'll do it straight onto my mixed media mat, but there was too much stuff on there and I was too lazy to move it, which is why I mixed it in the little plastic pot. But yes, that was error number one. And the other error is the fact that you saw me about a couple of minutes ago get my Prima stamp out, the one with the ship on, and I should have stamped that before I did the stenciling, because obviously the stenciling added some texture and made the fact that I just could not stamp that stamp evenly when I do it in a minute. So that was the other error. I'm not too bothered about it, you know, it's not going to be hung in a gallery, is it? So anyways, so that little pot of stuff there is some Illuminart shimmery watercolours. I believe they're similar to the shimmers. Is it the creamies? I don't know, I get confused by all the different names of all the Shimmers products, but basically it's a little shimmery watercolour. You spray some water or put some water in the pot, leave it for a few minutes to activate, and then you get this glorious shimmery paint. It is beautiful. So I put some on there, I dried it, then I very badly stamped that ship. It probably actually would have stamped better if I hadn't used the acrylic block, but you know, you live and learn, c'est la vie. And then I have my little turtle dudes. Those are from the Graphic 45 paper that came in the kit, and I fussy cut a fair few of them, and I just wanted them all swimming around on my little spread here because I think they're just lovely, and they're going on with some more gel medium. So yes, I think. Oh, then again some more of the shimmery watercolour because I love it so much. I'm trying to think what that colour is. It's gone. I'm sorry, it's gone from my brain. I cannot find it. Something blue. That's obvious. I did do a little bit over the top of the turtles as well, just to help them sort of tie into the whole piece and not stand out too much, because they are not the main feature of this spread. So yes, lots and lots of that going on, just adds this really lovely shimmery effect. And then I used the bottom of that Prima stamp that just has the musical notes on, because the words I'm going to use in this spread are actually, they're from a song, so as those words were going to go on that side, I stamped some of the musical notes there because I thought that would look quite nice. And here are the words. Now, I'll quickly tell you what I do with them, and then I will talk about them. So I just typed these out on my computer, printed them off on some cardstock, as you see, and just cut them up like that. And what I do to them is get some more of the distress stain and just dab around the edges to help tie them into the whole thing. Oh, I distress the edges as well. Sorry, yes, distress edges too. Oh dear, I'm very sad that distress stains have been discontinued. They have been for a while now. I am just going to give in and get myself some ink pads because I miss dabbing things. Not dabbing like the thing that my nieces and nephews talk about, the dance move. I mean like ink dabbing. Anyway, talking about the words. So I was recently listening to my iTunes on shuffle. Very dangerous thing to do sometimes. But this song by Pendulum came up, and I used to love Pendulum so much. I was in love with them. And anyway, this song started playing. It's called Encoder, and it's off the album Immersion, which is hence the title of this art journal piece. And the Encoder is the last song, and the last little bit of lyrics, and like the really powerful bit of the song, are these lyrics. For everything that could have been, well, at least we took the ride. There's no relief in bitterness, might as well let it die. I'm not going to sing it for you. If you would like to listen, then just search Pendulum Encoder. This bit is about 2 minutes 50 in, I'm going to say. But at the risk of sounding like really hipster, and, you know, the music really spoke to me, man, I really like the lyrics. I think they're quite powerful and they're really beautifully worded and stuff, and I just wanted to use them in an art journal spread, really. And as the album is called Immersion, and there's kind of a watery theme on a lot of the songs in the album, I thought it would work quite well with this underwater themed art journal spread. So yeah, that's kind of what it's about, really. That's all I have to say about that. So once those were down, again with some gel medium, I forget whether it was gloss or matte, but one of the two, I put down some little sequins from the Spiegelmum scrap sequins, again from the kit. I think, yes, sequins have been on every single project. Yes, they have. I do love them a lot, though. So I started off just individually putting them down amongst those bubbles on the left there, and then I got bored of that because I'm not a very patient person. So instead I just did my usual thing of just putting a little layer of gloss gel medium down and then sprinkling sequins on top. I wasn't very haphazard with the sprinkling kind of thing. I didn't want any of the more browny sandy coloured sequins on this because obviously it's a very blue underwatery thing, and I wanted just the blue and the clear and the mother of pearl coloured sequins on this one. Just, yeah, so I was being quite picky, making sure I got the right colours and stuff, but I'm still being fairly lazy in that I'm just swiping the gloss on and having them on the top rather than doing it individually, because as nice as it looks, I'm too lazy for that sort of thing. And then after this, I've left in an awful lot of these sequins putting down. I'm sorry about that, there's far more than I intended. But the last thing I do is add some flowers. They're the same, couple of Prima flowers from the kit actually going down. Oh no, I changed my mind about that. Sorry, I did this a couple of weeks ago. So the other flowers I use, these are the ones from the range. You would have seen them in my latest video if you watched that. I will link it if you were interested. And these are just these pretty blue flowers from the range. I did manage to find a link to these for you in my last video, but I will warn you, UK people anyway, who can order from the range have done that annoying thing where they say they can't guarantee what colour you're going to get. So you might get blue, you might get purple, you might get pink. I hate it when shops do that. Isn't it so annoying? Hobbycraft and or the range, if you are listening, customers don't like that. We don't like Lucky Dip. Give us a choice. Thank you very much. And with that rant, this art journal spread is finished. So thank you so much for watching. I have no idea if there's any of these kits left, but April's kit will be out on the 1st of April, and my video share of that kit will be out tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Links in the description box. I am now going. Thank you again. Bye bye.